I am extremely excited about this one. Today we're taking a look at a brand new HBX. Now this thing is brushless, it's 1/10 scale, and it's ready to run straight out the box. So why am I so excited about this brand new release then? Well, I've always loved Haiboxing products, and some of the best cheap RC cars out there are actually made by Haiboxing. And two of my all-time favourites are the 901A and the 16889. Two incredible little RC cars and perfect for someone getting into the hobby. Now guys, you know I love doing cheap cars here on the channel. It's one of the ways I've grown my channel throughout the years. I know a lot of people out there can't afford the X-Maxes and the Creightons and all the expensive RC cars, and to be honest, you really don't have to spend a huge amount of money to have fun in the RC hobby, which is where cars like this really come to the rescue. They give people a chance to experience the RC hobby for the first time, and they also give you a chance to see whether or not the hobby is for you, and if it is, well, you can always upgrade to a more powerful and faster truck later. That is why cheap cars like this are so important to the hobby. Now you may be thinking, well, sometimes buy cheap, buy twice. Well, yes, absolutely, and I fully agree with that. But when it comes to Haiboxing, well, they've never let me down. So this is the new 2996A. We're going to get it unboxed, we're going to take a closer look at the truck, and then we're going to get it out for a run. So in the box we've got the truck itself, and yes, this thing does look very impressive. We're going to take a closer look in a moment. We've got a black and white manual, we've also got a decal sheet, and you will have to fit those yourself, a USB charger, a cross wrench with some spare body clips, we've got some double-sided tape, finally the transmitter. Now I've seen these before, the 901A actually has the same transmitter. These things are really nice, they feel really nice. We've got steering trim, steering dual rate, and we've also got a speed switch. Now because this is a brushless truck, being able to adjust your speed is ideal, especially if you hand it to a beginner. Finally, you will need 3 AA's to get you up and running. Now battery wise, Banggood have sent me the 2 battery version, so I've got 2 1600 mAh 2S lipos. So back to the truck then. Now I've already applied all the decals. This thing is looking really cool now. It's also known as the Tornado, which I think is a bit easier to say than 2996A. And yeah, overall, it does look like a very impressive little truck. Right, so let's talk about some of the exterior features on this truck first of all then. Now we've got a really nice soft front bumper, that's nice and flexible. We've got an LED light bar at the top there. And on the back, again, we've got a nice flexible rear bumper, and that is pretty much it. Now I think what you really want to see is what is going on under the body shell, so let's get it off and let's have a look. So we'll start with the electronics then. Now we've got a 35 amp 2-in-1 ESC and receiver, a 3650 3800 kV brushless motor with a heatsink, and a 6 kilogram free wire servo. Now straight away you may be thinking, a 6 kilogram servo on a 1/10 scale monster truck? That can't be right. Well guys, the truth is, this isn't really a true 1/10 scale monster truck. And if we compare it to the team associated rival MT10, which is a proper 1/10 scale monster truck, you can see it's quite a bit smaller. So power wise, yeah, I think it's going to be okay. I think it's going to perform well, but we'll see later on. So moving on, let's talk about some of the chassis features then. Now this has got metal oil filled adjustable shocks, and they do feel really, really good. So this has got ball bearings throughout, as you would expect. It's also got a front, a centre, and a rear diff, and I find that quite impressive. And you don't often see a centre diff on a cheap car like this. Now this has got very thick and chunky metal CVDs on the front, and it does have a metal centre drive shaft, and on the rear we've got metal dog bones. This comes with a plastic chassis, and as you can see, it is quite small, and there is one downside to that. Now yes, you do get a reduction in weight and size, but unfortunately, look at the size of the battery tray. That is super tiny. And of course, this does come with a 1600 mAh 2S. How long is that going to last? Well, I don't really know. So let's talk about the wheels and tyres then. Now overall, I think these look quite nice. I do like the design, and the compound feels nice and soft, so they should be nice and grippy. Right, so we're going to do a quick 2S speed test using the included battery. Let's see what we get, because I think we're going to get mid-30s, but let's find out. Well, it does feel nippy. Got that 3800 kV motor. Yeah, it definitely feels quick on the included 2S. and it does handle quite well as well. Right, let's bring it back and see what we got. So I managed to achieve 31, which isn't bad at all. So 31 on road is quite impressive, but what I really want to see is how this is going to perform off road. Right then, so let's give this a go. Straight away, those shocks feel really good. Now I know some of the cheaper Haiboxing stuff does come with friction shocks, but they always sell upgrades. What a fun little truck. So this thing does feel like it's a nice amount of power. That 3800 kV motor certainly feels enough on such a lightweight little platform. Now with so many options out there, who is this truck for? Well, I think this would be ideal for someone looking to get into the hobby on a limited budget, who may not want to spend crazy money on an Arrma or a Traxxas. And even the MT10 may be out of budget. This is ideal for you. It looks good, it handles well, has a nice amount of power, and I think the most important point about this whole thing, it's cheap. Now the fact that this thing is lightweight, it just soaks up all the bumps. It handles so good. So there we go then guys, that was the brand new Haiboxing 2996A. What an impressive little truck, and I think this thing has potential to be one of the best cheap RC cars of the year so far. Well look, you may be thinking that is a very big and bold statement to make, but I think this thing ticks so many boxes, it certainly has the potential to be the best. Now not only is this thing cheap, but it's also ultra durable, it's fairly quick out the box, it's got decent runtime, and overall it just looks really cool. Now I managed to get decent runtime out of this. It was close to 10 minutes on the 1600 mAh pack, but if there was one thing I could change on this, I would like a slightly bigger chassis and space to fit a bigger battery. And I just find it really silly that on a truck of this size you're very limited when it comes to your battery options, and I just prefer carrying around a couple of larger capacity batteries compared to having a handful of smaller batteries. Now it's been really enjoyable actually reviewing this little car today, because quite often we see a lot of these companies making so many promises, and when the car actually hits the market it never delivers. And most recently we see that with the Relalo AK917, so many big bold claims were made with that, and as soon as it hit the market, well, it turned out to be a bit of a failure. Anyway, I'm not going to go into that, I've already covered that on my channel, and the video is there if you want to see it. Guys, cheers for watching, and if you haven't already, make sure you've subscribed to the channel and you've got notifications turned on so that you're notified whenever I post a new video. And I know you guys love the cheap stuff here on the channel, which is why I've got so many more cheap RC cars on the way in the next couple of months. Stay tuned for that. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.